Hi, I'm Dr. Eurydice Moore, and I am back to talk about grants. You know, how to get grant ready. What are the requirements to get grants? I never heard of grants before, and I was stumbled literally into the grant writing arena. I didn't know what a grant was, and I did not find out about a grant. But what is a grant? A grant is free. Say it with me, free money. If you are told you have to pay it back, it is not a grant. It is a loan. But let me take you on a journey how I found out about a grant. All right, and I'll tell you how to get grant ready. Well, in a previous video, I mentioned to you that I was a lab technician. Okay. And I end up working for the Board of Education, long testimony. You know what? Next month is September. I'm going to give some testimonial videos. Maybe. Don't chisel it in stone. September is my birth month. So, anyway, I had went to school and I had got a bachelor because in order to be a lab supervisor, you had to have a bachelor. So I went and got the bachelor. Then they told me I got a bachelor in health. Then they told me, well, it's not in medical lab. So I didn't get the supervisor position. I was disheartened, but God had something bigger and greater for me. Don't get disappointed when things don't go like you think it should go. It could be God saving you from something or somebody, or it could be God letting you know, hey, I got something bigger for you. I got bigger and better for you. Bigger, better. Okay? So, in this case, I didn't know at the time. I was very disappointed. I wanted a promotion. I wanted to be a lab supervisor. After all, I had worked in the lab for like 12 years. I know something. I know a little something. I got a degree, but at that time it was an associate. But for this particular position, they were looking for someone with a bachelor. So I was like, okay. So I got the bachelor. I'm like, man, I got this bachelor and can't even use it. But it ended up being used for something else. Okay. So I was laying in the bed and I heard God say really clear, I want you to go back to school. And I said, didn't have no sense. You cannot talk to God any kind of way. But he give us grace when we're coming into the full knowledge of him. He give us grace. And so I was like, I don't want to go back to school. I got the associate degree, I got the bachelor. That's enough schooling. And all I ever wanted to do was work in a lab, get married, have a child. That was it. But he had so much in store for me. So I'm like, I don't want to go back to school, God. I don't want to go back to school. And he said, I need you to go back to school, get a master. And I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And then I heard him say, I'll make it easy for you. I'll make it easy. Just as clear, I'll make it easy. Then the next day, I applied to University of Illinois master program. I applied to Roosevelt. And 3 weeks later, I got acceptance letters from both of them. I had immediately expressed my transcript to them. And I say 3 weeks, maybe a month or a little over in between that time. I, I received, the acceptance letters from both of them. Then 3 weeks later, I received a denial from both of them. And I was like, what the what? What the what? See, I don't curse. I feel like you can express yourself beyond the four little curse words. So I'm like, what the what? What the what the what? And so then I was like, well, Lord, all for me. I applied, I got denied. Oh, I'm free. At that time I was friends with a girl named Pat, and she had a son named Joseph, and uh, she went to enroll him into a private school, and she was sitting between two women, and they were talking across with her sitting there. And I told Pat my dilemma, and I told her how I felt so free, 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 free. I ain't got to go to school because I couldn't find a school. I then when I did, I got rejected, I got denied. So it's over. They began to talk about Spurtis. It's a Jewish school located in the Loop. And uh she came back with the information. She gave me the name. She gave me the information, the contact person, because she asked them. She told them she had a friend that might be interested in that school. And then and then I found out, I called, that it was only an 18-month program, where back in the day, master degree program could take anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Going full time, part time, 6, 7 years. And so colleges start coming out with acceleration program to attract people into their school. So they had this 18 month program in nonprofit. So I was like, and it only met one night a week. Double Tell me that ain't easy. Then I'm like, okay. And I made an appointment. I had to go through an interview. I had to get my transcripts in. And once I got my transcripts in, then, I had to wait for my acceptance letter. I had to pay out of pocket, but I got that money back. I got reimbursed by the Board of Education. I got reimbursed for my tuition. Um, and so I took the class. The first class, we had textbook, blah, blah, blah. And all our class, we had textbook. And then we only had to take one exam, and it was in a little blue book. You had to write in this little, answer some questions in this blue book. Okay. And there was 10, 11 modules to go through. So that was module 1. Module 2 through 11. This is a hallelujah moment. I wrote a paper, and after writing the paper, got an A on it. And each module had a different teacher. God gave me the wisdom, the insight. He said, take this paper and critique it and shape it into the rest of your classes. So at each module, and each module only require you to turn in one paper. And then you had to participate in class discussion. And that was it. Tell me that wasn't easy for a master program. And then um, at the end of each module, you had to submit the paper. So I submitted that same paper 10 times. I had different teachers, and I shaped the paper. There were only minor things. I had to tweak it, and there were only minor things. And A. Flying colors. When I looked up, I was through with the program, graduating, got hooded. Okay. But in this particular program, this 18 months program, instead of doing a thesis, we were required to write a grant. So I got to rewind before the hooded part. And oh, let me take a commercial break. You have tuned in to Dr. Eurydice Moore. I am the sole proprietor of Eurydice. We are MBE, WBE certified consulting firm. You have scrolling across the screen my contact information, my website, my email. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button so you can get more videos from me, be notified of new videos. So back to the story. Okay, commercial break in. So all of us were required to take this one class, and we had this person that wrote federal grants. And I only had one class, y'all. Some of you think you need so much. You may need one or two things to do what you need to do, to get done what needs to be done. Okay? I only had one class, but yet I've been writing grants since 1985 up to, what year is this? 2024? 30 plus years of grant writing services. Okay, so that's my phone, y'all. Please pardon me. Okay, let me. Okay, I'm back. Don't act like your phone didn't go off when you was on video. So anyway, I only had to take that one class, and it was just in a nick of time because the following month, I started working for the Board of Education, City of Chicago, Chicago Public School, Lucy Flower Vocational High School, and took my high school teacher position. And a month after getting that position, let me see, I graduated in August. In September, I started working for the board. In late October, the principal called the vocational teachers into her office and informed us that the Board of Education had some grant money and to write a grant. And so I wrote a grant, and the guy that taught us how to write grants, he wrote those federal grants. There was like 80 pages or more. And I handed to the principal, and she threw it at me. My boss threw it at me and said, break that down. That's too many pages. And now I just learned how to write the grant. And I'm like, break it down. I didn't know that there are different grant formats. I would come to learn that through the years, that there are different grant formats. And so I prayed, Lord help me. I gotta keep my job. I'm trying to do what the principal said. She said write a grant. And so and then I wrote a grant for the program that I took over. It needed to be updated, upgraded. I order equipment, I order supplies, I order a mannequin so that the student could practice drawing blood. They didn't have to wait to get to the hospital to do blood drawing. They were already know. So I bought every textbooks, everything. And so my first grant was for $36,000. I had $36,000 to spend. on equipment and supplies and textbooks. Woo woo. First grant. Okay. The lowest grant I ever got was $25. The highest 1.4 million. Okay. And I have gotten grants for $5,000, $1,000, 300, $100, in different amounts. So I want to say, don't frown on the small grants. Don't small on the baby grants, honey. The name of the game is to get a funder. Now I'm getting into getting grant ready. I like to invite you to my free online grant application workshop. I have the final one for 2024. This is our third year of doing the free online grant application workshop. This is our third year. Um, you the last session will be Sunday, November the 10th. Sunday, November the 10th, from 4 to 5:30. You have to register. The link and the flyers will go out in the first week of September. Don't hesitate, cause he who hesitate lose. You snooze, you lose, because the class will fill up in like 2 weeks. Um, so far, we have had a, up to 1,000 registrant workshop people that registered for the workshop, 1,000 plus. You don't want to miss out on the last one for this year, 2024. It is our desire to do a 2025. Now, some of the things that is covered in the class, I'm going to cover now. Talking about getting grant ready, becoming eligible to apply for grant. I gave you my journey into the world of grant. I didn't even know what a grant was. Once again, a grant is free money. You apply for it. If anybody tell you got to pay it back, then it's not free. The only exception is when you run across grants that say run across something that's explained as a forgivable loan, and there are stipulations with that, especially with the SBA. They are known to give out forgivable loans. When you apply for a loan, you got a timeline to do what you said you're gonna do with it, and you have to do what you said what you're gonna do with it. You cannot divert. Okay, then you have to put in a request requesting that the loan be forgiven, and then they send you the paperwork to fill out, okay, to get a loan forgiven. Then you got to have your paperwork in. Let's say it got to be in September the 1st before 5 o'clock p.m. Pay attention to the time zone, Central Standard Time. Make sure any of your paperwork you're looking at time zone. And let's say you're on the East Coast, okay? You know they are an hour ahead of us. Make sure you pay attention to the time zone. So you got to submit this forgiveness documentation September 1st by 5 o'clock p.m. So you get it in September 1st and you get it in at 3 o'clock p.m. You home free. They go over your paperwork. They issue a letter, a document stating that zero amount, you owe nothing. Another hallelujah moment. Okay? But let's say you turned it in September the 2nd, you would have to pay that loan back. Let's say you turn in the document to get that loan forgiven So it'll be converted into a grant. You turn it in September the 1st at 5, and it's due 5 o'clock, and you turn it in at 5:01, 5:02. Guess what? It will not be forgiven, and you will be responsible for that loan. It is a loan. Forgivable loans are loans that convert into a grant. Otherwise, if someone tell you they got a grant for you, but you got to pay it back, or they present you with a loan and they don't say it's forgivable, it's up to you. You can say sign a now. Hasta luego, baby. Goodbye. Okay. I want to encourage you to get all the free money that you can, because there's money out there for just about anything you want to do. Now, how to be grant ready. I have people call my office all the time. Dr. Moore, I want a grant. And so when you call me, I'm going to take you through a checklist. There are some things that you need to have in place in order to be eligible to apply for grants. Okay, what are those things? All right, first, you either got to be a nonprofit or a for profit. Back in the days, grants were just for nonprofit, and every now and then you see one or two for profit. But once COVID hit, they've been anteing up on the grants. It kind of slowed down a little bit, but you can still find grants for profit. So, what happened is grants for profits. Just lost my thoughts. Uh, you got to decide if first you got to be in business, nonprofit or for profit. Nonprofit, yeah, nonprofit is a business. There's a business side to nonprofit. Okay. So once you decide whether you're going to be a nonprofit or a for profit, can you have both? Yes, but you structure them one at a time. That's what you do, one at a time. So once you establish whether you're going to have a nonprofit or a for profit, then, okay, you got to incorporate. If you need a business license, then you have to get the business license. You have to have a website. Okay. Uh, the website have to be in the name of the nonprofit or for profit. Then you have to have an email. It have to be in the name of the nonprofit or for profit. Then you have to have a social media present, which means you got to have the major social outlet, media outlet. You got to be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, which is now X, and Instagram. Some places are asking for TikTok, but TikTok kind of controversial. I don't think they iron out all the wrinkles because they have hit Congress have hit a snag with the TikTok. I haven't heard anything lately. If you want to comment on that, where they at with TikTok, so you got to have these in place. You got to have your paperwork together, because guess what? Once you fill out that grant, then there come a time in the application you are asked to upload. They want a copy of a governmental identification, whether it's your state ID or driver license or another acceptable governmental ID. Okay, you got to upload that. They are asking for previous tax filing years, the previous and current tax filing years. They ask to see that. Uh, then they want to know if you're a veteran. They want to know your gender. You got some stuff. You got to have a bank account, and the bank account has to be in the name of the nonprofit or for profit. It cannot be in your name. You do not want to commingle your money. You don't want to be keeping records together with your personal stuff. You want to keep things separate. So I just described how to be grant ready. I told you what a grant was. I told you that I got a online grant workshop coming up November the 10th of this year, the last session. We believe in God to continue in 2025. It's been successful. You can come and learn more. I cover this in more detail in the workshop. And, you know, you got to have a business structure. You're going to be a nonprofit or for profit. I told you got to have a website, social media presence. You got to have an email. You got to have a bank account. I just outlined what it is that you need to get grant record. Saying, I want a grant won't cut it. Are you in a position to apply for grant? Once again, I am Dr. Eurydice Moore of Eurydice. We are MBE, WBE certified consulting firm. My disclaimer, I am not a lawyer or a CPA. I am a business consultant, recently designated a government contractor. Uh, Scrolling across the screen, you see my contact information where you can go to my YouTube channel. You can call me. You can email me. You can go to my website. You can set up a free 15-minute consultation with me to discuss uh, types of grants, how to get a grant, your project, is it feasible, is it fundable? That's what you should be asking yourself. If what I want to do as a nonprofit or a for-profit, is it feasible, is it fundable? And you have to get legal and you got to stay legal. Signing off now, Dr. Eurydice Moore. Like, share this video, hit the notification button so you will be notified of upcoming video. God bless, Godspeed.